The footage you are about to see took place last night at around 11 p.m. By the time I got home and showered and stuff, I got 1 hour of sleep before I had to get up for work this morning. So I'm a little tired, but I just want to do this video. You know, that video that you're about to see happened last night. Leaving my parents' house. I left early. You know, I was watching the presidential debates and I left early, and I think God placed everything perfectly to happen the way it happened. And these are the raw emotions of what happened. Okay. Oh man. I'm soaked. I'll explain when I get back in my vehicle. Oh my gosh. So it's raining out really bad. I am soaked. Okay. I'm surprised my phone's not shot yet. Is this guy going behind me or not? Not sure if he's headed out or not. I can't see because of his headlights. So I'm just gonna slowly move on here. Slowly go on. Okay. All right. Sorry guys, my heart is pumping a little bit here. Okay. Yeah, so it's, oh man. It's 11:20 p.m. Oh man, hold on. It's steaming up in here really bad. Okay. So, is my camera still working? I spent the last 15-20 minutes standing in the rain waving my phone. I can't believe my phone's not fried or something. So, coming home from my parents, watching the election, not the election, but I was watching the presidential debate tonight, and you know, it's raining, and oh, sorry, I'm out of breath. Let me catch my breath here. I'm just trying to be cautious. Yeah, my adrenaline's like really rushing. So, okay, I went to my parents' house. They're 40 minutes away, to watch the presidential debate. 10:40 p.m. I decided I'm gonna head home. I want to get home. I'm tired, exhausted. I gotta get up at 3:30 a.m. tomorrow. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna cut it a little early and head home. On the highway, 283 highway, about 1 mile to 2 miles from the Manheim-Mountjoy exit. Just cruising along. The roads are wet, and I could feel a little hydroplane probably 4 or 5 miles back. So I dropped my speed from 70 down to about 60, 65. I was just cruising, and all of a sudden I see headlights that look, well, no, I saw 4-ways on in the media side, and sorry, I'm just still trying to concentrate, and I thought a car was, on the side, because just a mile back there was a car that was on the side and had their 4-ways on and their hood up, so they must have needed help. And at the speed I was going in, there wasn't any turnaround for them. So about a mile away, I saw this four ways on. Sorry, I keep messing up my words. I'm just still trying to comprehend what happened. Four ways on the side, and all of a sudden, I come up and I see a car turn sideways in the middle of the highway. Okay, the middle of the highway. Now, when I saw the four ways on, I probably dropped my speed down to about 50. And the car sideways, all their lights were off. All the lights were gone, completely off on the vehicle. And I was going about 50 when I saw the vehicle. I'm not quite sure how far away I was from it, but I quick put on my brakes, and I swerved because I had to swerve to miss the car. You know, I could not see the car until I was right there. And if you can see my visibility in the Explorer, you know, I mean, you can see a little bit, but when a car is sideways, I thank God it was black, and I thank God for a couple things. And there goes something running across the road. So yeah, I didn't know what to do. I quick reacted and I swerved because the car was in the middle of the road, and it was in the middle of the road, but more into the passing lane. And then on the left side, maybe 10-15 feet from the car, was a car with the four ways on in the right side of the road. So I was in the passing lane already, just cruising along at 65, well, about 60 to 70. And then I saw the four ways of the other vehicle, and I slowed up and to about 50 because I didn't, you know, just being cautious. And then I quickly saw the white car sideways. Like I said, the headlights were off, everything was off, and you know, you have this reaction time of, you can see what, 15 feet? Is that 15 feet in front of me? You know, it's a 1998 Ford Explorer. The headlights are not that, you know, great. They're old stock headlights, so you can't see that far. So I saw it, I swerved, and I weaved in around the car. Thank God they weren't standing in the middle of the road, the people or whatnot. So this literally must have just happened. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to just stop because there was no one around, and for all I knew, the car with the four ways on, for all I knew, it was two people involved and someone needed help. So I quickly pulled off to the side of the road a little bit. Then I made sure I got off in the grass, and then I got out of my vehicle, and let me tell you, cars are flying at 70 miles an hour. Like, they're just whizzing past, just crazy. So I run as fast as I can to try to get to the white car, trying to dodge people basically almost running me over because they were just nut jobs, you know, people in the rain, just crazy. So I go over and I see there's a guy, an older gentleman, standing out with his phone on. He has his flashlight. And then I see a guy and a girl. They were still messing around with their vehicle. They were still right at their vehicle. And when trying to explain this, the vehicle was sideways in the road, and the visibility is hard. It's raining. At the time, it was raining heavily. So the visibility, not only the visibility was cut because of the rain, but also because, you know, it's nighttime. So I'm over there, and the guy is telling them, get away from your vehicle, trying to get them to get away. It was a young guy and girl, I don't know, maybe 19 to 26, somewhere around there, 19 to 26 years old. And I come to find out, me and this guy, we're standing there for about 15 minutes or so, waving our phones. You know, I turned my camera. Thank God that we had smartphones, because we were able to turn our camera light on, and I was shining it, you know, going back and forth as high as I could. And let me tell you something. Tractor trailers and cars were flying that fast. there was almost an accident. I would say probably 6-7 times. It was that bad. How fast the cars were coming, even with us waving our smartphones. And you sometimes and keep in mind, this was on a straight stretch. There was no turns or nothing. So you do this test, sometime at night when, on a road where it's a straight stretch and no one's around, and wave your phone, and you can see these smartphones, the lights on from very far away. Well, people don't pay attention, especially this late at night, with truckers been driving all night and so forth. So, there were some very close calls. I mean, some super close calls, because some people just stopped dead in their tracks, and then some people that stopped dead, tractor trailers came flying them around. I mean, it was bad. It was a little scary. But let me tell you something. If that gentleman did not pull over, those people would probably be dead right now, because they were still at their car. They didn't get away from their car, I imagine the shock and all of it. I mean, especially the guy said first accident. I don't know if this was their first ever accident or not, but I think that's what the older gentleman said. So maybe he asked them. But yeah, no other vehicles were involved, and he said he was going slower because about a mile back, a possum ran across the road, and it kind of kept him alert. So he was going slower. I think he said a possum. He said something ran across the road, so he was already going a little slower. So God had me and him, this gentleman, put there on purpose. God had me leave early, and my mom even said, drive slow, it's not worth your life. Be careful. So God had me leave early, and God had, I forget what this guy said he was coming home from. It wasn't the debate, it was something else. And God had us there. No doubt. And if that guy did not stop, there is no doubt in my mind those people would be dead, because they were still at their vehicle. They were still there. And even when me and this guy were waving our phones, they still were going back and forth from their vehicle in the middle of the road. Now, I understand, it's their first accident, they're young and whatnot. There's nothing against them, being a seasoned driver and stuff. We grow to learn. Something happens, you get as far away from the vehicle as possible. But let me tell you, if that guy didn't stop, and if I didn't leave early and we weren't there and this happened, I can tell you right now, a tractor trailer would have hit them at 60 plus miles an hour and destroyed the car. And if they were even remotely near it, they would be dead. So God had everything worked out according to plan. Wow, that was, yeah. So it's pretty clear to see that we think they hydroplaned, because the front end was just destroyed. I mean, the front, the tires, we tried to get in the vehicle and put it in reverse. We couldn't go. It just could not go. 3 of us tried pushing the vehicle out of the way, once the cop came, because they called the cops, and it took the cops about 15 minutes, maybe longer, that we were out there in the pouring rain waving our phones for the cops to come. Like, I can't believe it took them that long. Like, I really can't believe it. So so when the cop came, the cop was talking to them, and me and the gentleman were trying to get the car back. I hopped in the vehicle while he was pushing, and I put it in reverse, and I just floored that thing, and it would not budge. The front end was that smashed up, and the back end was smashed up too. So that they must have just been spinning and spinning. Wow, yeah, my heart is pounding. Yeah, that was something. I mean, if I was just, I don't drive at night. I'm in bed by 8 o'clock every day, and now sometimes it takes me till 9:30 to fall asleep. I'm not out at 11 o'clock. The only reason was because I wanted to watch the debate with my parents, and because my parents live 40 minutes away, you know, I wanted to come down and watch it with my parents. So I'm not out this late, so I'm glad that I was focused. I'm glad that I was paying attention. All it would have taken was 3 seconds of my attention being drafted away at the wrong time, and I would have hit that white car. And this would be a different scenario right now. So, like, I can literally feel my heart just pounding. I gotta slow up a little bit as far as talking, and wow. I feel bad for them, but I know what could have been. Really could have been. And, you know, not only their lives, but this gentleman's life, he put his life on the line for them, and I put my life on the line for them, because we got out of our vehicles and we were there standing by the crash scene, you know, waving our phones. If a trucker or somebody wasn't paying attention and all of a sudden looked up and saw, let's say they saw the car instead of us, and they decided to quick turn off into our direction, we would have had to split reaction and quick jump over the guardrail and hope that everything worked out. Like, it was just something else. It was just something else that that thank Jesus Christ, thank the Lord, because it could have been so bad on so many levels and so many ways. Once the cop came, like, I'm soaked, like, I'm just drenched. And it's 55 degrees out. So it's 55 degrees out. I'm soaked. I'm drenched. You know, I was tired. I'm just ready to go home, get a shower, and crawl into my bed with my wife. You know, my wife's not with me. She's, you know, she stayed home because of it being so late. And her working early as well. So, you know, I'm used to my crazy hours. So I think that's why I was still alert and so forth, because I'm so used to it. And man, people are tailgating me. I'm going 45 in a 45 and they're tailgating me. Man, people are just nuts at night. Like, it is crazy. So I'm so glad I don't go out at night. But yeah, I am grateful that the Lord had me leave when I left, because if me and this gentleman weren't there, like I said, I can't stress this enough, how suddenly, you know, I'm not talking like right now it's drizzling and the visibility is not the greatest. I'm talking, it was pouring, and to the point that I had my wipers on full blast. I thank God that my Explorer has fog lights. I had them on as well. I don't want to know the visibility, you know, if my fog lights weren't on. But yeah, I'm just very grateful. And this person seriously they keep flying up on me, and I'm going the speed limit. I really can't stand people. Like, we've had heavy rain in this area. Even now, driving on the side, I can feel going the speed limit, my tire veers a little bit because of the water that's setting. People just don't get it. They really don't. But you know what? God was looking out for all of us. For all of us. You know, my main focus was flash the light, and pray to God that no trucker, and let me tell you, truckers got within, I would say, 7 feet of hitting their car before flying off onto the side. It was that scary and that bad. And there was one point when I was flashing, the guy went over to the car because he was going to see if he could put it in reverse. So he went over by himself, and I was flashing the light. A trucker came flying up, and I had to yell to the other guy, get out of there! Because that trucker was probably no more than 2 feet away from hitting the car on the side. Well, not on the side, but hitting the car in the front. So the car front end was facing sideways in the middle of the road. Not quite the middle. There's enough room for a vehicle to, well, between the lines, I would say the car was almost halfway over the line. The front end was halfway over. So yeah. Okay, well, I'm done. I need to go home and just breathe. That was my, wow. Thank you, Jesus. So it's probably close to 12 now. I have to say, replaying this over and over in my mind, how amazing God is. Because I could not be here right now. You know, when I was going over to the people, if a car would have came and hit me, even though I was off really far, you know how people could lose control or whatnot. If a trucker would have swerved into us, and not only that, you know, the other guy's life, because he was there. I arrived pretty quickly right after he did, probably a minute. He might have been there a minute, maybe less. I think he was in front of me probably like a half mile, and then I was behind. You know, he could have lost his life. Those two people could have lost their lives. Not to mention, if it would have caused a pile up and other people, it just amazes me how God saved us. Because let me tell you something, unless you were there, you don't understand how scary it was. Tractor trailers flying at you, flying past you at 60 plus miles an hour, not even putting their brakes on. Scary. Even with us waving our phones, with our lights on, even with his vehicle having his four ways on, off to the side, and mine vehicle off to the side with the four ways on, still, about 5 minutes before the police came, we had the guy turn his headlights on in his car, and still vehicles were flying up at us like it was only God could have prevented a disaster than what it already was. Whew. Makes me want to rethink my life a little bit. You know, I'm living in good terms. You know, I know where I'm going when I die. But I believe it just shows me even more what's important. So I do want to also add that it was really busy for being that time. Now that I look back on my footage and look back, this side of the highway was so busy for 11 o'clock at night. I assume it's because of the debate, you know, people coming and going and leaving sooner and whatnot. And also, I do want to add that not a single other person stopped and got out of their vehicle and assessed anything. I would say about 4 people, and I believe they all were women, slowed up and came to a stop and asked us if we were, you know, if everybody's okay. You know, they put their window down, they came to a stop and asked us. So about 4, and I would say there was probably, oh man, over 150 cars and tractor trailers that had passed us within a 25 minute time period. Yeah, it was like, I would say it's like your normal 1 p.m. Traffic at 11 p.m. at night. So, yeah, wow, yeah. So, and most of those people that stopped, and I'm almost positive they all were women that asked if we were okay. But yeah, no one else actually pulled over and got out, which surprises me, you know, that nobody else, you know, the car in the middle of the road. I don't know, I guess, thank God, you know, God planned for me and this gentleman. He was probably in his 50s, maybe 60. I don't know, definitely 50 and older, I would say. Um, yeah, so many scenarios that could have turned bad. Like a scenario I just thought about this morning, how fast the tractor trailers were coming. If a tractor trailer would have locked up its brakes and turned away from the car and locked up its brakes, he would have jackknifed. So if a tractor trailer's coming to you like this and they lock their brakes up and they turn this way, what it would do, it would cause the trailer to basically lay not lay flat, but basically slide out. And if that would have happened, we would have been goners. It would have just taken all of us out in the car. So, man, so many bad scenarios that could have happened, but only one scenario mattered, and that's the one Jesus picked. That everybody left okay. Um, I say okay by the looks of the guy and the girl. They said they were okay. I don't know. Maybe if they've hit their head, could be maybe a concussion or something. I don't know. But okay, as far as they said they're okay, and nothing happened when we were there. It just blows my mind. Two of us holding our phones, plus two vehicles with their four ways on. Plus, we then had the guy turn his car on and put the four ways on and headlights on, and people still were flying like it was a 75-degree, beautiful sunny day. It truly, truly amazes me